Dr. Harleen Quinzel, better known as DC Comics' Harley Quinn, is one of Batman's most popular villains. In nearly 3 decades since her creation, Harley Quinn has become a pop culture icon, rivaling the Dark Knight himself. Like most Batman villains and comic book characters in general, Miss Quinn has had multiple iterations in different comics and other media. Harley has changed from a mindless sidekick to a bloodthirsty member of the Suicide Squad to an independent antihero with tons of heart. Harley Quinn has gone through what might be the biggest status quo change to a character that comic books has ever seen. One thing that makes Harley Quinn stand out from the rest is her point of conception. Harley Quinn is not, at least at the character's creation, a comic book character. Harley Quinn was created for television by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm for the show Batman the Animated Series, Season 1, Episode 22, Joker's Favor. Dini and Timm needed a character to gas a bunch of police officers by surprising jumping out of a cake, and it was concluded that Joker doing it would be too bizarre. So Dini and Timm decided to give Joker a quick sidekick for the episode. Little did they know how much of a staple the character would be. Harley was inspired by a friend of Paul Dini, Arleen Sorkin, who was a former star of the soap opera Days of Our Lives. Sorkin would appear in a dream sequence where she wore a jester costume. She would also go on to voice Harley Quinn when she appeared in Batman the Animated Series. Harley would go on to appear in 9 episodes of Batman the Animated Series' 3-year, 85-episode run. She would also appear in numerous episodes of the Batman the Animated Series continuation, The New Batman Adventures, as well as some cameo appearances in Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, and Batman Beyond. All these series were part of the same universe known as the DCAU, or DC Animated Universe. Harley's origin is revealed in multiple episodes and in the graphic novel Batman Mad Love, written and drawn by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm in 1993. The episodes and novel would chronologue what would become the mainstay origin for Miss Quinn. The story generally goes that Dr. Harleen Frances Quinzel was a psychiatrist working on a tell-all book of supervillains at Gotham's Supervillain Rehabilitation Center, Arkham Asylum. She interviewed many supervillains and eventually got the chance to interview Gotham's most notorious supercriminal, the Joker. Joker quickly convinced Harleen that he was just misunderstood, and she soon started to hate Batman for how he treated the Clown Prince of Crime. Harleen would then go by the name Harley Quinn, a play on the term Harlequin, and would join the Joker in most of his capers over the years. Eventually, Joker would fire Harley and she would be taken in by Poison Ivy. This choice by the writers wouldn't last long, as Harley would rejoin Joker within a couple of episodes, but this decision would set the groundwork for completely changing Harley's character in the coming years.
Welcome back. Did you miss me?
Since the DCAU, Harley has become a staple to Batman's canon, notably appearing in the Batman the Animated Series comic book, Batman Thrill Killer, No Man's Land, Hush, and her own series from 2001 to 2003, which features her going solo and moving to Metropolis, home of Superman. The solo series ended with her turning herself into Arkham, admitting she needs psychological help. This series would also delve into Harley's own past a bit more, chronicling her former relationship with ex-boyfriend fellow psychology student Guy Kopsky, who would end up committing suicide, ending the relationship. This detail would also add some depth to her eventual abusive relationship with the Joker. Harley would also appear in many Batman solo issues. One issue in 2007 had her helping the Joker kill his former henchman, with the punchline at the end being that he planned on killing her too. Upon realizing this, she shoots him non-fatally. Harley would also be one of the main antagonists in the Batman Arkham game series, appearing as Joker's sidekick in the first 2 installments, Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. Following the Joker's death in Arkham City, a grief-stricken Harley is the main antagonist of the game's DLC, Harley Quinn's Revenge. Harley is also featured in the main game and DLC for Batman Arkham Knight, where she is still grieving over the Joker's death. Harley would also be one of the 3 main members of the Gotham City Sirens. This group would be essential to Harley's growth and detachment from the Joker. The Gotham City Sirens features Harley, newly apart from the Joker. She is joined by Poison Ivy and Catwoman. Together, they're Gotham's female supervillain squad. Harley occasionally would go back to Joker, while Catwoman and Poison Ivy would try to convince her the relationship wasn't saving. And as mentioned before, Harley has gone through multiple changes since her conception, but she stayed relatively the same in comics and TV. She donned the black and red Jester outfit and was consistently the Joker's girlfriend or on a break from him until the massive DC Comics reboot in 2011 titled The New 52. In this New 52 canon, Harley's outfit was changed to a more practical, less jestery suit. She wore shorts and a red and black sleeveless top. Her hair was no longer blonde, but half red, half black in a pigtail look, emulating the old jester suit. Harley begins the New 52 already post-Joker. This would begin a new status quo for the character. She is forcibly inducted into the Suicide Squad by government official Amanda Waller and slowly drifted from Batman canon into her own. In 2013, writers and wife-husband duo Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti would create the modern Harley, featured in most pop culture today. Harley is still portrayed as romantically tied with the Joker, but that part of her life is behind her. The solo series focuses on her move to Coney Island after getting released from the Suicide Squad. She's part of a roller derby team, still practicing psychology under her real name, and fighting crime in her neighborhood. Conner and Palmiotti's run features a non-monogamous relationship between Harley and Poison Ivy. This Harley is more of an anti-hero than any previous iteration. It is also the interpretation that has become the mainstream in the public eye. At one point, Batman even makes an appearance to commend Harley on her attempt at heroism, stating he won't try and stop her. Conner and Palmiotti's run ended after 4 years and nearly 100 issues. Harley has only appeared in 2 live-action movies, both portrayed by actress Margot Robbie. Robbie is a self-proclaimed huge fan of Harley. She even helped crack the story for her most recent theatrical outing. Robbie's first appearance as Harley was in 2016's Suicide Squad, directed by David Ayer. This features a more classic Harley, with a more modern look. Harley is still in love with Joker, while she is forced to be in the Suicide Squad by Amanda Waller. This is very reminiscent of the New 52 run. She then reprised her role in 2020's Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, directed by Kathy Yan. That is a mouthful. This features a story with elements directly from Conner and Palmiotti's run with the character. In the film, Harley is on a roller derby team, and she's recently gotten broken up with the Joker. She frequently references her getting her own emancipation from being nothing without the Joker. Over the course of the film, Harley gets over the breakup and is fully realized as a major player in Gotham. She's still a villain, but she's decided to take on an apprentice and occasionally help the Birds of Prey fight crime in Gotham. In 2019, Warner Bros. And DC Universe released Harley Quinn, the animated series. This tells the new story of Harley Quinn with a much more lighthearted, extremely gory, and vulgar approach. The series begins with her breakup with the Joker, and with him serving as the primary antagonist of the series. Over the course of the first season, Harley learns to not care what the Joker thinks, and to fully get over their bad relationship.
No, I'm keeping it for myself.
The new Harley Quinn has a very rich tapestry of lore and history behind her. Over the years, it's been revealed that she never really had a good home life. Her father and mother had a terribly abusive relationship, with her father being a sometimes mob hitman, sometimes con man. It was revealed in Gotham City Sirens that Harleen only went to study psychology to better understand her broken home. Psychology is a big part of Harley's world following her anti-hero reimagining. Harley Quinn the Animated Series has a whole episode that focuses on Harley's relationship with her family. Her father is revealed in this episode to be a con man who forced her to throw an Olympic qualifying gymnastic match because he bet against her. The story of Harley Quinn slowly went from a woman who just fell in love with a bad guy story to one of true tragedy. Harley's home life, her lost boyfriend, the suicide, her abusive relationship with the Joker all help portray her as much more than just the Joker's sidekick. In Harley Quinn the Animated Series, Episode 5, titled Being Harley, Harley's crew, Poison Ivy, Clayface, King Shark, and Dr. Psycho, travel to Harley Quinn's mind because she is effectively in a coma. Inside they see a room full of mementos laid out in almost museum-like fashion. One of these velvet roped-off paintings is titled Origin Story. A plot point of the episode is something's wrong with it, and by the end of the episode, Harley is back in that moment, her origin story moment, where Joker threw her into a vat of acid to make her his. By the end of the episode, Harley realizes this isn't her origin story anymore. Her new origin story is when she beat up the Joker and achieved independence at the end of the pilot. Harley's new origin is one where she used to be the object of the Joker, but now she's an independent character at her own mercy, no longer objectified by the Joker and used as his pawn when he needs her. She spends her time doing what she wants. This is completely different than what Harley was created for. She got her own rogues, her own friends, her own lore. Nobody in comics has ever had such mainstream development like Harley Quinn.
Right. Another man for you, but no, I'm totally finished with it. Oh.
Harley Quinn, like most Batman villains, is a very tragic character. But why is it that Harley is one of the only tragic female Batman villains? These classic characters turned crime lords who tug at the audience heartstrings include the likes of District Attorney turned Janice freak Harvey Dent, or the man with the rare temperature disease who only does crime to possibly save the life of his frozen wife, Victor Fries, or the literal embodiment of bat werewolfism, Kurt Langstrom. Like most Batman's rogues, these characters include incredibly tragic backstories to help you understand where they're coming from. Harley Quinn is one of the only tragic Batman characters who is one, a woman, and two, someone whose entire personality isn't based around that. Harley has done the incredible feat of moving past her trauma. Unlike Two-Face, who is still obsessed with making sure everyone faces justice the same way he had to, or Mr. Freeze, who is still on the hunt for the cure of his wife's degenerative disease by any means necessary, Harley Quinn's status quo has changed multiple times. Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, and other tragic Batman villains of Gotham have remained the same status quo-driven baddies their entire run. This isn't me trying to critique Batman's villains as a whole, or make this into a gender thing, but it's interesting that Harley Quinn is the only Batman villain who continues to change and evolve as the years go on. We don't really see that with Two-Face or Man-Bat or Mr. Freeze or the Riddler. Everyone kind of stays the same, minus one or two issues where they'll change and they'll play a different role for those issues, like when the Riddler had cancer in Hush. The beginning of Batman Mad Love by Dini and Timm features a conversation between Batman and Alfred where Batman states how Harley is just as crazy as the Joker, while Alfred doesn't think so. At least in Mad Love, Batman sees Harley just like the rest of the villains, while Alfred sees the tragedy behind the domino mask. Shannon Austin examined this very conversation in her journal, Batman's Female Foes, The Gender War in Gotham City. She writes,
Batman's conversation with Alfred at the beginning of Mad Love suggests the fear associated with the prospect of women in power. The Joker is perhaps Batman's most dangerous enemy, yet Batman claims that Harley Quinn is just as dangerous as him. Alfred sees Harley's situation as tragic, perhaps playing into the notion that a female criminal is more troubling than a male criminal, even one like the Joker.
Batman's assessment of her character isn't just based on the fact that she's the Joker's clown companion, but by the fact that she's always had a chip on her shoulder regarding the law. Batman talks about her willingness to sleep with her professor to further her career. Something Austin says is,
her action, which is not unique, but somehow seems worse when perpetrated by a woman.
It's no secret the world of Gotham is a very metaphorically sexual place. Harley's sexuality is used as a weapon against her, much like the rest of the female villains in Gotham. This isn't something new when it comes to comics. Every woman is curvy and wears skin-tight revealing clothing. Poison Ivy's outfit generally just has her in some plants that covers her private parts. Catwoman wears a skin-tight leather catsuit. The problem with these villains is they're forced to use their sexuality as a mask. Catwoman seduces Batman in order to get away with the jewels. Poison Ivy's most prominent power behind plant control is the power to mind control men through the use of her pheromones. The biggest change in Harley's life was when the Joker seduced her. The Joker seduced his psychiatrist. She was an authority over him, and he quickly flipped the chemistry. Joker became the one on top. Harley is quick to blame herself for these shortcomings with the Joker as well. In the same comic, Mad Love, Harley blames herself for not getting the joke, her own rationalization for the Joker throwing her out of a window. In a stark contrast to Harley's eventual no sympathy for the Joker mantra, Quinn rationalizes his abuse in textbook abusee style.
Now you know how it feels!
Harley truly has received emancipation in the eyes of pop culture. 2020's Birds of Prey featured that as the main theme. Harley Quinn spent nearly 20 years at the arm of the Joker. Her original origin of being a psychiatrist seduced by the Clown Prince of Crime became a footnote, while her new origin focused on the day she left the crazed clown. While still a major plot point thematically for Miss Quinn, Joker is left as a name heard in passing. The focus now is much more on where she's at in her own life, and how she's got to the point leading up to her days of crime, but her and Joker's relationship has been long since shifted away from. In pop culture, Joker is still seen as cool by many, but he's portrayed as much more sinister than ever before. He's not Jack Nicholson's gangster or Heath Ledger's anarchist. In recent years, the only way we've seen the Joker is the abuser he is. Harley Quinn the animated series shows how bored he is without Harley. Birds of Prey showed us how fantabulous Harley's life can be without Joker. Even Joker 2019 had thousands of fans asking, where's Harley? Harley Quinn has really shown the world how terrible the Joker can be on a personal level. We've seen him kill, we've seen him dismember, we've seen him cripple. But to show him as an abuser that's abusing Harley not just for comedy, but in a personal, realistic, vindictive way, she's really put a stain on his legacy. And rightfully so, but that stain is only a fraction of what her legacy is. I can explain. Thanks for watching. This was a little different. I feel like I say that every time I make a video essay. All my video essays are different. Me. Can you hear that train? There's a train outside. This wasn't necessarily meant to be a feminist hit piece on the Joker. I really like the Joker. Joker's one of my favorite just fictional characters of all time. There's like a blur, like it's right there. I don't know if it's like right here. Joker's like one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. This was an adaptation of an essay I wrote for a gender class here at my university. If you like this video essay at all, go ahead and follow me on Twitter or whatever. I have an Instagram. I do TikTok. TikTok's pretty fun. Go listen to my podcast. We talk about film every week, and we're two white guys, and we're film students, and we're just really, really relatable. Thank you for watching again, and I will see you next time.